Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the iTunes Fanboy Podcast. As always, I am here joined by Alpha DeWolf from the Random Alpha. Once again, we are not full house because TabbyCat 406 is busy. Now, it'll be so nice once we're able to be full house again, but
Yeah, this has been this has been driving us nuts actually.
though to be fair, most of the time, the reason why we had that big giant 2 month gap in between our TIFP episodes last fall was because most of the time we wanted to go full house, but we often couldn't. In fact, there was one time when Alpha, and Elias were all available, but I had the flu, so I couldn't go. Or I could go on,
Yeah,
but
that
I'd sound
sucked.
terrible.
hmm
So I'm not exactly in. Wasn't exactly up to it, but meanwhile, let's get on for the first topic because we're recording way later than we usually do, which is that
Oh yeah.
WWDC was announced for between June 5th and June 9th, with the main event being on June 5th.
I mean that's kind of exciting, though. Usually WWDC, I never get myself hyped up for any hardware because that's not the point of WWDC. It's supposed to be a software event, so
However,
I usually get.
there is one hint in the invite that does make me think that there might be hardware, though it's not going to be exciting. And this again would be a thing that Tabby would absolutely agree with, but he's not with us. So the WWDC 23 invite, if you look at it, it kind of remind you of a VR headset?
No, actually, it reminds me more of pancakes.
Well, still sort of looks like that kind of thing. So maybe it could
uh,
be. So maybe they could be unveiling this unbelievably stupid AR/VR headset that doesn't seem like it's gonna make a whole lot of sense and might fail.
Yeah, all I can think of with that one image was they looked like lenses, though I definitely know that a VR headset does not use lenses in front of the display or anything. Like it's just a screen.
I'm basing it off of
There's
what
no
Sam
lenses in
Cole.
front of the screen.
This what off of what Sam Cole from Apple Track stated. However, now I'm starting to say think that maybe it's having to do with something else, like maybe the different layers of iOS 17, maybe, because that doesn't look quite enough. That's just it doesn't look quite enough like VR versus the iPhone 14 event with the theme far out theme of space. Like you could clearly connect that to satellites, and that's so obvious, but I'm just trying to look at the VR thing, and it only looks like on the very edge of a VR headset. So again, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe there is going to be a VR headset, but I'm just telling you guys, no matter what Sam Cole from Apple Track says, do not get your hopes up for a mixed reality headset, because there's been rumors of this for so many years at this point. So even since before
It's
I
like
joined the
the
tech.
Apple car rumors.
Yeah, when I don't think it's gonna ever happen. And I'm starting to wonder if Apple's even working on this, or if it's just all being faked.
I don't think it's being faked, but just when it comes to leaks and Apple, I've basically stopped believing in timelines. Basically, after John Prosser lost his track record of getting timelines right, I basically just stopped believing in timelines altogether.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, this might not be the biggest thing. This might not be the next big thing. It certainly isn't going to be the next big tech product, regardless. No matter how cool VR is, it's a little. The only thing I really see it for is maybe a gaming console and consuming content. But even that's so bulky that I see it more of as a TV replacement rather than an iPhone replacement.
I think calling it a TV replacement would be a stretch because unlike a TV, this whatever is being viewed on the headset can only be viewed by one person.
Well, maybe a monitor
Meanwhile,
replacement of some. Well, more of a monitor replacement, I should say, but yeah, even then, TV just as a whole is starting to die off as a trend. So I still don't get how this is gonna succeed again. Maybe Apple's gonna do something unbelievably cool with the VR headset. Maybe they're gonna blow me away, but I'm just not so sure. And even Tabby doesn't really like VR, and he's tried it. And Jordan from the iPhone fan, he tried VR once in it, and he had found himself having a hard time getting back to reality.
I came very close to having an Oculus controller to the face due to someone not being careful with some VR headset thing. Another thing to point out,
What VR headset thing?
an Oculus Quest. Someone was playing like bowling or something with it, and let's just say I almost took a controller to the face.
Why did you?
No, it just brushed my hair.
Oh no! Which can can you say the relative that did that?
It was my grandpa, actually.
Oh, of course. I'm not. I'm not surprised. Yeah, a bunch of my
Oh,
friends and classmates at school have VR headsets, and they seem to like it, but VR, but they like playing video games, and I don't. So
that's all it really seems to be good for. I mean, even the people like John Prosser, Sam Cole, they're all excited for VR and such. They play video games. And whenever they talk about it, that's what they do on VR.
so
So,
maybe that'll be Apple's attempt of getting into the gaming industry, though. This is not at all, and I repeat, not an iPhone replacement.
yeah, this is not going to replace the iPhone. It's not going to replace Macs. I highly doubt it'll replace monitors. Yes, what MKBHD demonstrated with the Oculus Pro or whatever it is, the Meta Quest Pro thing or stupid thing. Uh, Even though, yeah, that demonstration was pretty cool, I'd just rather get the monitor so that way, hey, let me show you this cool thing that I made in Final Cut or something.
Yeah, like that's
Because
just
you can't show anybody with uh, when you got a headset on.
the only benefit is that you get a super large screen for working on by yourself. But even then, there's another big problem with VR too, which we've talked about plenty of times on this podcast before, but unlike other techno screens, VR is not safe to look at if you're under 10.
Yep, I believe that.
And I've even looked at VR myself when I was on a field trip back in fourth grade. And it was just okay. Like, I'm like, okay, this is just. I don't get it. It just looked like a giant wraparound display.
Yeah, I haven't tried it myself, but after all the different demonstrations and how VR can be used today, I'm sorry, it's too niche of a product to become mainstream like the iPhone did.
Something's going off my
So,
dog with my dog Betty out there that I have no idea what. But the next piece of news, which is again, this is more of a rumor to take with a really heavy grain of salt. But I just wanted to mention this so that way people aren't too mad about this when the iPhone 15 series does come out with this. But there might be a price hike of at least $100 in the United States.
oh, I'm not surprised.
Actually, I am surprised because even drastically, tech product prices, I haven't noticed a whole lot of increase, but tech prices, I mean, older Apple products have gone up in price, but slightly, but that's sort of pretty logical. However, I'm just not. I just don't know what to believe because these rumors come out every year. Remember how determined everybody was that the iPhone 14 series was going to be more expensive?
I thought that those leaks were bogus because from the rumors of what they were suggesting to all the features they add, that didn't justify a price increase.
And even USB.
But this time there is something that actually will justify the price increase, and it's not because of a very cool new party trick or something. It's because they all want to switch it to a new material that objectively costs more, titanium.
Yeah,
And
so
that's what's going to jack the price.
the iPhone 12 series didn't get. Oh yeah, the 10 did get a price increase when it switched to stainless steel. So I'm not. This isn't going to be a huge surprise. Again, it's not going to be a major price hike from what the rumors say. It's going to be like $100 or more, though. No, maybe 150 at the worst, based off of the history of the iPhone 7 Plus versus the 10, though. I'm though there might be. That'll only be for the Pro models, of course. The regular models are probably not going to increase in price because they're just basically iPhone
I
14
am so
Pros.
grateful I'm not in the market for a phone.
And we experienced a little connection issue. So, okay, connection issue resolved. Back to the show.
What if your iPhone 10s Max dies completely?
I still got the 13 Pro Max.
What? What if the iPhone 15 series comes out with curved edges, in in the superior port? You really don't want the superior port?
I do, but I don't use it enough. I
Yeah, but
wirelessly charge my phone and I use AirDrop. And I've got other important things to worry about. Just right now, a smartphone, I'm perfectly happy with my 10s Max. And if this were to go on me, I've got the 13 Pro Max as a backup. But as of right now, I've got way more important things to be spending on compared to smartphones.
uh, I do, I do get the only thing right. Again, Tabby's opinions on the iPhone 10s Max.
Oh, yeah, too well.
To the point where we actually brought back on the we brought to the point where we brought you on the podcast for that reason.
But yeah, as of right now, I'm not looking to buy a new phone. I don't need one. Both I have two iPhones that are both perfectly suited for everything I need to do with them. I don't need anything that the iPhone 15 is going to offer. Material change? I don't care. The looks and aesthetics? You're not going to get any better looking than this phone right here. I'm sorry. USB-C, while yes, that may be useful, I wirelessly charge the phone. I use AirDrop. The frequency at which I use the charge port is basically, okay, I'm not going to say zero, but it's close to zero. So that, and when you compare the other things that I'm trying to save up for, aka a Tesla and a house in North Carolina, yeah, it's definitely obvious that I should not be spending money on a phone, especially when I got two phones that work perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's more phones than I have that work perfectly fine. Fine for to be my main
Good
phone.
point.
Yeah, I have. How many iPhones do I have now? Well, let me see. I had 32 before, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4. New. Yeah, I have 36 iPhones now.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Unfortunately, the other 35 are just not fully suited enough.
So yeah, I thought I was gonna buy the iPhone 15, but I guess the responsible side of me has taken over me and said, yeah, I don't need it.
Well, if the iPhone 15 series doesn't get USB-C, then you can all then luckily Google Pixel phones are pretty. If you can buy pretty recent Pixels for so cheap, so there's always that.
Well, I'm not buying a Pixel either. I've just got too many other things that are more important than smartphones nowadays. Because honestly, I think smartphones have peaked since 2018.
The That's not that. Okay, that's not. Okay, that's
Everything after that has just been diminishing returns.
there's there's not a smartphones have not peaked yet. We still got to remove the camera bump. We still got to do that. We still got to bring back curved edges. We still have to evolve further.
Well, these are problems that Apple has created after they peaked.
They 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 haven't peaked. They definitely have not peaked yet.
Well, in terms of a phone that's missing important features, aside from USB C, I'd say they peaked.
Honestly, this is the opinion that I've just gotten so much. This is honestly my least favorite type of tech opinion because people just don't because people do because people have been saying since the iPhone 6 came out that Apple hasn't changed anything since the last iPhone, and if you do look, then Apple has changed stuff. And I mean, yeah, there's not a whole lot of difference between an iPhone 13 Pro Max and an iPhone 10s Max, but you might have been happier just waiting for the 14 Pro Max to come out. Yes, I know.
No,
it's got
I
that.
would not have.
I know it has the
No,
dynamic.
I would not have.
I know it has the
hate
dynamic island
so much
on
about
it,
the
but-
14 Pro's design.
But you may have been happier. But of course,
No,
we'll never know that.
No, I
because
would
you
not
won't-
have.
Because you probably won't ever own a 14 Pro Max.
I would not have been happy if I bought the 14 Pro Max.
Well, Tabby would probably agree with you there because he's really starting to hate his iPhone 14 Pro. Which
Well, he
is
seems to have a lot of issues with all of his phones.
now it's at this point. Now he's starting to hate iOS 16, just as from what I can tell, about as bad as he hated iOS 15 during iOS 15.3.1.
Yeah, hopefully iOS 17 fixes all that, because...
Stability over features, that's Tabby's dream.
Yeah, I'm not the one who usually complains about iOS bugs, but I've even experienced a handful myself.
That's why
Yeah,
that's why I never updated to iOS 16 on my iPhone 11 Pro Max, and that's why my only iPhones that run iOS 16 are the ones that I've gotten since iOS 16 came out that I really don't have a choice in downgrading or anything, which are my iPhone 10, my iPhone SE2, which I'll explain later, my iPhone SE3, and my iPhone 14 Pro, because obviously my 14 Pro has to run iOS 16.
yeah, that's what it shipped with.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't experienced.
So, one topic actually that I wanted to... We kind of left the WWDC topic. I really hope they do something with iPadOS.
All I want with iPadOS is just, I actually want iPadOS to start, just get a little more stripped down and stop focusing so much on weird desktop features like Stage Manager, which I want Apple to get rid of. Apple, that's such a bad feature. I just want Apple to just to make it more of a tablet-centered OS again. That's still good for keyboards and stuff. Even though I highly doubt Apple's going to do that, but even then, it's not like that's going to have much of an impact on me regardless, because I'll be keeping my iPad on iPadOS 15.
Yeah, it sucks that the tablet space is just such a mess in terms of software right now.
Well, iPad OS, if you actually use it every day and you just bother using it like a phone, it's good. But I'm sorry, Stage Manager is such a garbage feature. There's still no calculator app on the iPad, Apple. Really, that's it.
I keep wanting to buy an iPad Pro, but I can't justify the money when the OS does so little that my iPhone can't do.
It's cheaper than an iPhone, so I mean, it's sort of. No, wait, not the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, but
Yeah, you know what size I go for.
go big, go big or go home.
Yeah, that's how we do things around here. Except for my cars. Evidently, I am not that way with my cars.
Oh, I got it. I got what you need. I got what you need to upgrade to the iPhone 15 Pro Max. A bigger screen. Would you upgrade if it had a bigger screen?
Well, technically, my 13 Pro Max has a bigger screen.
What if it had a bigger screen than the 13 Pro Max?
I personally wait till like the 16, if that were the case.
Okay, actually that's pretty fair. My next phone upgrade isn't probably going to be until the 16 series or the 17 series.
Yeah, because just right now, I'm not in the market for a smartphone.
Neither am I. Well, I'm not in the market for a new smartphone.
I'm not in the market for any smartphone. I'm perfectly satisfied, and I'm just trying to fill other holes in my, well, junk collection life.
Right now, the
Although I
biggest
wouldn't
thing,
consider
the
the
biggest
things I
thing
get
I'm trying
junk.
to save up for is a new, nicer watch for me to wear that I can wear to school. Though I'm starting to think of, though, you want to know what kind of watch I'm thinking about? That's a really obscure watch, but I still think it'd be cool to talk about on this podcast.
Which one might it be?
The original Apple Watch, and no, I'm not talking about. Let me get it.
The Series Zero?
I'm not talking about this
Oops.
kind of original Apple Watch.
Shut up, Siri!
What?
I triggered Siri on the Mac.
I'm not talking about that kind of first generation Apple Watch, which, yes, I just found my old one. More details on that later. But I'm talking about. Can I share my screen?
Go for it.
Yeah, check
Wait,
this
that thing
out.
exists? Whoa!
Yeah.
Huh, that's cool.
Most of these are coming from Japan, so I do have to pay. I have to pay for import fees, though. I'm
That's
trying to
cool.
find the very, very original one, though. Because there is one that's the original. And that one. It's a Warner Brothers. Here's something that Tylosive Tech really, really loves.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I want a ceramic Apple Watch.
Personally, I do not like the look of the ceramic Apple Watch.
I like the heavy silver of it, though it's not my sort of thing. Okay, I can't find the original 95 Apple Watch, but these are the closest. This is probably the closest one I can find. Or no, it's not. They look like this except with the Apple logo on it. Obviously I'm not. This one looks like the most practical. Okay, in Japan, yes. Yes, Japan is a city alongside a country. It's totally how it works. I'll bet you didn't know that existed.
Nope.
Yeah, that's just
Alright, well,
that's if my
we're
parents let
running
me
out of time,
import it,
so-
of course.
no, alright, well. We're burning up time, so next topic.
The base iPhone 15 models are going to keep the normal mute switch and volume buttons. So if you like the mute switch, just get the base model.
I wonder how many people would go for the base model solely because of the mute switch.
Probably not a lot. Just like with most iPhone removal controversies.
Yeah, I'm just not excited for iPhones anymore. They're just doing all sorts of things that I'm like, why are you removing these awesome things that made you unique? Don't pull a Samsung, Apple. Come on.
They're removing the mute. They're removing the mute switch because they're going. I actually want them. I don't really use the mute switch, so it doesn't affect me. But it's still a unique part of Apple, though. On the 15 Pro,
I use it all the
you
time.
know what? It appears that Apple might be doing something unique in place of the mute switch.
I mean, yeah, I'm hearing that they're supposedly adding an action button to it, but
I'm pretty stoked for the action button because if I were to buy a 15 Pro, then I'd have more of a use for the action button as I could have it to trigger the clock app open the clock app, for example, which I open up quite often, or I could have it open the camera app, or the weather app, or the Twitter app, or the Instagram app, or whatever.
I don't like having dedicated buttons to open apps. That's just me. I don't really like having dedicated buttons to open apps. It's one of the reasons why I hated the Bixby button on Samsung phones for so long. Thank goodness they finally removed that dumb thing.
You're happy that Samsung removed something?
That was actually something they never should have added to the phone in the first place. The Bixby button.
What did the Bixby button even do?
Basically brought you to some widgets page.
Oh, with Samsung's stupid assistant.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even have Samsung's assistant. You actually had to. The original way of doing it was you push the Bixby button and then it takes you to Samsung's widget page. Then you had to tap a button at the top of the widget page to get Bixby voice.
Oh my, that's Samsung! Oh my gosh, that's so stupid.
They finally figured out, oh, I know, we'll long press the Bixby button and then, we'll instantly bring up Bixby voice. And then you can start talking to Bixby.
I guess Samsung was being a little too unique in that fashion because ever since the iPhone 3GS launched with voice control, you always held down the home button just to activate it, and that carried over with Siri in the iPhone 4S.
Yeah. Thank goodness they got rid of that button, especially considering it was right next to the volume down button.
No, geez, that's even more stupid. Though.
Yeah. They never should have added that button to the phone.
The next topic.
Out of all the things Samsung's removed, that's the good one.
I learned something new today. All right, the new USB-C AirPods Pro 2 are going to be coming in later this year.
Well, something tells me if these go out of warranty and you know what happens, I might end up buying those.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll call them AirPods Pro 3 or if they'll still be technically second generation.
I don't know.
And we experienced a little connection issue, so, okay, connection issue resolved. Back to the show.
Apple's at some point going to have to do AirPods 4.
Yeah, that's true.
Because AirPods 3 are not only a complete disaster, but AirPods 3 also use the Lightning port, and if they don't want to start a war with the EU.
Well, didn't they update the charging case of AirPods Pro 1?
They did, but they're still.
Yeah, didn't they just update AirPods Pro 1's charging case to add MagSafe when they introduced MagSafe into the AirPods 3.
They did. They did, though. At this point, with AirPods 3 quality issues, and the fact that it's been already.
Did you activate mute?
And we experienced a little connection issue. So, okay, connection issue resolved. Back to the show.
Of course, Hazy activated the mute.
Well, what did you say?
I don't remember. Oh yeah, Apple's gonna have to release because it's been a while since Apple released AirPods 3 and the quality issues. They're gonna probably release AirPods 4 to comply with EU mandates.
I actually would think that they probably just still continue to call it AirPods 3 and just update the charging case, as they've done that with AirPods 2 when they introduced the wireless charging case. They did that with AirPods Pro 1 when they introduced the MagSafe case.
AirPods 2 launched with the wireless charging case.
Oh, okay, well. Still, they launched... They released a MagSafe charging case with AirPods Pro 1.
They did.
So I think they could still possibly continue to call AirPods 3, but just update the charging case to USB-C. And same with AirPods Pro 2, actually.
I still think at this point, because it's been the AirPods 2 got. This might be more of a 2024 thing, though. AirPods 2 got refreshed in 2019 after 2016 with AirPods 1. AirPods 3 got launched in 2021, so we are due for them. However, new AirPods Max are also likely releasing soon with a potential new case, because there has been some leaked code that shows a new pair of AirPods.
That sounds exciting. Especially considering I'm the audiophile, so who knows? Maybe I'll have to try to buy them and do an audiophile test with them.
Alright. Then, yeah, I'm pretty excited for AirPods Max too, but there's also a potentially redesigned case, which I know both you and Tappy will be so happy for.
I still can't believe that this thing made it past the drawing board.
Can't even believe that Apple. I can't even believe that Apple could do that. I can't even believe the FCC approved that.
I'm surprised that they haven't had to censor the looks of this case, to be honest. Because this looks like it belongs to so many different...
private parts.
Yeah. Because no matter how I look at this case, I see nothing but private parts.
I agree, and Apple actually had to change the lyrics slightly in the iPhone 14 ad because one of them sounded slightly like the N-word. Though they didn't change that case.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
At least that case is finally going to come out.
Yes.
But
this thing is stupid. I can't believe they made it past the drawing board, and Tim Cook passed that. All right. Well, what's next?
Apple launched Apple Pay Later in the United States to select testers.
Ooh, yay! More debt!
More debt. That's interest-free too. And I've stated this on plenty of TIFP episodes before, or at least I've stated it on one or two of them, but I don't get how Apple's going to make money off of this. I really don't, because how are they going to not lose money on this if it's interest-free? Because interest is how you charge for devices, and Apple can't rely on too much of their other income to work with this unless they integrate more ad tracking, which then is just going to cause that, which we all want.
Yeah. Yeah, at some point this summer, I'm finally going to get my hands on a credit card. Now that I finally have some tax documents, I can finally look up my social security number and figure out how to apply for a credit card. How does anyone remember those numbers? I don't get it.
Hey, editor Alpha DeWolf here. Yeah, we said some stuff, and you guys are not allowed to hear this stuff. And this right here is where the stuff used to be. All right. Now that that stuff has been said, back to the show.
Hey, quick note here from editor Alpha DeWolf. Yes, it's late at night and I am exhausted, but for anyone who's concerned, no, we did not share any social security numbers. It's just Teddy said something that he kind of wanted to redact mentioning. It's not anything identifying, it's just something that he owns that he doesn't really want to mention that he owns. So no, we're not sharing social security numbers. And if any of you have ever thought about sharing social security numbers with someone, don't do it. It's stupid. All right, editor's note over. Back to the show.
Yeah, so at some point this summer, I'm finally going to get a credit card. It's probably how I'm going to pay for the car, too.
Do you have plans to go into a lot of debt with that?
No.
That's good.
No, I still plan on... My rule is if I can't pay for it in full today, then I don't buy it. Even if it involves like monthly payments and such. If I still can't pay it in full today, then I don't buy it.
That's exactly my rule of thumb too, because you know you're making a stupid purchase if you can't pay for it in full, unless it's something like a house or a car. Though even then,
that rule still applies to me with a car, but a house, no. With the amount of money that houses cost nowadays, it doesn't make sense to wait till you can afford to buy a house and such. Then I'll be stuck here in Michigan for who knows how many years. And I do not want to be stuck here for who knows how many years.
I understand.
Yeah, so... Once I get the car, then I'm going to start saving up for the house in North Carolina, because I genuinely don't think my current car is going to be able to survive North Carolina traffic or interstate traffic in general.
Alright, well the next bit of news is that iOS 17, the one new feature is that it's going to allow side loading in Europe. So if you're in a European country that is in the European Union, then... if you like side loading, then be happy.
Goodbye, security!
Get excited because you'll have side loading finally, though. As for the rest of us,
Bye-bye, security! Hello, hackers! Hello, malware!
hello,
Hello, Jewish hacker!
I wonder if he's actually gonna try to invade iPhones.
There goes the option of choice. There goes our choice for our security. I keep saying this. I made a whole video on this.
I know. Well, at least in the United States where we live, we won't be affected.
Oh, I'm sure that we'll eventually suffer it too.
At this point, maybe somebody can sue. In the United States, maybe somebody can sue. Maybe Apple could sue the government for that bill, and then they could have it repealed.
Oh, I highly doubt they'll win.
Because that's monopolistic, is offering people only one choice of no security.
Exactly, but they're not gonna win.
Hey, editor Alpha DeWolf here. Yeah, we said some stuff, and you guys are not allowed to hear this stuff. And this right here is where the stuff used to be. All right. Now that that stuff has been said, back to the show.
All right. We really better get this wrapped up because I'm gonna have stuff I need to do in like 20 minutes.
Alright, this should be pretty easy. So, I got some presents for my birthday, and I found one of my old Apple Watches, which I've already gone over some of this, but I haven't gone. So I'll go get everything right now and just showcase it.
A few minutes later.
Alright, there I go.
Alright.
So let's go ahead. Got everything. So the oldest Apple product I
Are you on
got
mute
is actually
again,
a
or
cool
what's
one
going
I've
on?
won for quite a while, which is this iPod Classic 3rd generation.
And we experienced a little connection issue, so, okay, connection issue resolved. Back to the show.
Whoa! There we go! Yep. There we go. There's something.
And we experienced a little connection issue, so, okay, connection issue resolved. Back to the show.
Now I can hear ya.
Alright, here is the 3rd generation iPod Classic.
Nice.
Which if I go to settings, it's a 20 gigabyte, but if it focuses, Tab is right about the 14 Pro, iPhone 14 Pro's focus distance being bad, but look at how many songs there are.
It's too fuzzy on my end. I can't read it.
3,191.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I wonder how long this person has been collecting music for to keep it on his iPod for that long.
I don't know.
That's the most music I've ever gotten on an iPod. As the previous record
Alright,
was
well,
held
what
by
else did you
my
get?
green 3rd generation iPod Nano of 664 songs, I believe.
Hmm.
The next product I got is one that I'm going to be unboxing tomorrow, and this is this brand new in-box iPod Shuffle 3rd generation.
Ah, that's cool.
Always fun. I love old iPod boxes. There's something so unique to them that makes them feel so special.
Mm-hmm.
And right here I got this iPhone 6 Plus that I wish I could say runs iOS 8 like normal. However, in case you guys can't tell from that, that's not the you guys can't tell from that. I unfortunately wasn't actually able to get this unlocked and running iOS 8.1. It was passcode locked, so I did have to restore it to the very sad iOS 12.5.7. If you guys can see that. Show the serial number. So unfortunately this phone does run iOS 12.5.7. And it's just disguised to look like iOS 12. As you can tell, here's all the normal 12 icons.
Mm.
Though this is and the 12 control center.
Mm. Yep.
So I did have to restore this from iOS 8.1, so I still got a hunt for that for an iOS 8 iPhone 6 or 6 Plus for cheap, which is going to be a very hard process that even Tabby's been trying to accomplish but hasn't. So, or no, wait a minute, he does have an iOS 8 6 Plus now. Okay, well, another gift I got is this really nice rose gold iPhone 6s Plus.
Okay.
Another editor's note that I have to mention. If I sound uncomfortable or anxious for the next few minutes until the very end, it's because, let's just say I had some stuffed crust pizza and my stomach decided we did not want to agree about whether that pizza was good or not, and yeah, I really needed to use the toilet. So that is why I sound uncomfortable for the rest of the show. That is one embarrassing editor's note. Back to the show.
Which right here does the cool flip of old iPhone Plus iPhones. If you go into general and about, as you can tell, this is an AT&T model running iOS 15.7.3, and is a 128 gigabyte model, unlike my other 6, which has 88% battery health. I believe that 6S Plus is 100% battery health, but oh crap. The 6 Plus is 16 gigabytes. Okay, I'm not surprised. Didn't know that before. At least this iPhone 7 I got for my birthday, which I've been wanting for quite a while, is not
Is that
16.
jet black?
No, this is matte black. I still want a jet black 7, but those are so hard to find. Those 7 was
My
the
aunt
best.
had a jet black 7 Plus.
Those 7 right here runs iOS 13.5.1 and is super fast, super awesome. And even though it's not like a 7 on iOS 10, which I'm still on the hunt for, though, that'll probably be, or I'm not on the hunt for that yet, though. Sure I will be before long. And I also have this iPhone SE2 in black, which is a 64 gigabyte that runs iOS 16.0.3.
The better iPhone SE, to be honest.
Yeah, this is still killer value to this day. And
I see no reason to get the SE3.
and I'm not an expert on this, but I think the SE2 has a better camera than the SE3.
I think it has an identical camera, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the SE2 has a better camera.
So, yeah. There's no reason to get the SE3, guys.
Unless there's no reason. 5G isn't worth it.
If you're looking for a cheap iPhone, look for a used iPhone or something.
Or even better, just buy a more expensive phone. It's going to be better.
That too. Alright, well, do you have anything else?
I also got the 64 gigabyte iPhone 8 Plus box with my 6 Plus, which claimed to be the original box that came with my iPhone 6 Plus.
Doubt that.
It is not the original box. And I also found my old Apple Watch Series 0 that I got back. That's my dad's that I got back in Christmas of 2017. And he gave it.
Oh dear, that's the one with the thick bezels.
And he gave it to. This is a Series 0 Sport Edition. That's the 44 millimeter. He gave it to me back in the spring. Back in early 2019 because he wasn't using it very much, and then because I didn't have my own Apple ID at that time, I had connected to my dad's phone and I'd lost it, but now I have my Series 0 again.
I'm glad you found it, and it works still.
Yeah, it's a little dirty, but it still works fine, though. It looks unbelievable. Look how different it looks to my Series 7. I'm still quite surprised that the Apple Watch charger and band has stayed almost exactly the same all this time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Though this is just a standard Series 0 running whatever which I believe is running watchOS 4.3.2, I believe, which is the max that the Series 0 can go to. It's a Sport Edition. And this is a pretty cool Apple Watch that surprisingly still has a charge in it. So that's all I've gotten lately. So those are the four extra iPhones I got added to my collection, to where now I have 36.
Yeah, you're still lucky you get stuff for your birthday. All I get is like money and money.
At least you get money, so that
I'm
way
not
you can buy
complaining.
stuff on your own that you actually want.
Well, the stuff that I want at the moment are like there's just two different things that I'm looking for. Just looking for a Tesla and a house.
Why not ask for a Tesla for Christmas?
Not happening here. Especially since the majority of my family is not really all excited about Teslas. I'm going to be the one who breaks the whole trend of sticking to gas cars and the reliable methods that we all know. I'm going to be the one who goes for the new electric car.
I want an electric car too, but I'll have to save up for it because even though I will be getting my dad's old 2014 Mercedes Benz, there's no way I'm going to be able. There's no way I'm going to keep that as my main car because that's just too old at this point and is already starting to show issues. I'll just keep it until I
It makes
can.
me wonder how much gas would that thing suck?
I don't know. It's not too bad.
Because I at least know in my car, I've got actually about middle of the pack in terms of best or worst engines to have in a car of its size. And let's just say it's not as efficient as I'd like it to be, but still better than, well, the vehicle beneath me, which is a 2004 GMC Yukon with a giant V8.
Oh, you're so lucky you have a V8.
I don't. I have a V6 in my car. The Yukon's my mom's.
Or, well, I meant that your family has a V8. My family has one
Yeah.
V8 car, but it's so old that it doesn't really work.
Mm. Well, actually, there's two V8 vehicles here, the Yukon and then my dad's truck, both of which get like 10 miles a gallon in the city. And the fuel bills show. I still can't believe gas is like $3.50 here.
Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about, or are you ready to wrap up now?
I'm about ready to wrap up, and especially considering that my rear end is begging me to get to the toilet. So,
Yeah, my body is begging me to lift weights, so... As always, thank you
All right.
all for tuning into another episode of TIFP, or the iTunes Fanboy Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy from the iTunes Fanboy.
my name is Alpha DeWolf from the Random Alpha.
And as always, we are signing off for now. Hopefully next time we'll have TabbyCat406 back with us. And as always, thank you all for watching or listening to us. And as always, peace out.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bathroom?